Sketch Tales is a game about exploration, combat, creating, and finding loot. What you do depends on what you want to do. Although there are a few small hints pointing you towards a destination, the player can explore almost anywhere. There isn't a mountain you can't climb or a building you can't enter. The choice is yours. There are hidden loot spots across the maps that can be found that contain treasure chests or cozy fires. Plenty of NPCs await the player's arrival as well. A run-of-the-mill action-adventure game was not what the developers at 8D Studio intended on creating. The title of Sketch Tales has more than one meaning. Yes, the entire game looks like a semi-talented 7th grader's history class doodles. However, sketch also refers to the player's ability to have an interaction with the very fibers of the game's existence. The looks of every creature, weapon, and playable character can be modified by the player through an in-game MS Paint-like menu. The player can color, shape, flip, or even completely redraw anything in the game. This great feature of Sketch Tales leads to an unlimited trail of possibilities. Imagination is your weapon. In addition to the ability to draw, the player can also choose to record his or her own sound effects and voices through an in-game option to further their involvement. 8D Studio wanted the player to be able to enjoy creating just as much as they enjoy exploring. Scrolls, or spells, that can be found scattered throughout the world are used to spawn NPCs, weapons, objects, and even build buildings. Can't reach a faraway chest? Build a staircase and climb your way to it. This feature allows the player to modify every single aspect of the game, aside from the unmovable landscape. Sketch Tales gives a sort of misleading plot when the player launches the game. The gameplay shown in the cinematic is not actually achievable by the player. The story claims that the color has been stolen from the sketch world, but does not suggest how or why. When the player starts one of the two campaign story options, Sketchmen Party, it gives another cinematic discussing a party in which all of the sketch creatures were gathered in a castle, and were poisoned during the celebration, besides the player. It's not all that well explained. During gameplay of the Sketchmen Party map, some neutral NPCs will give dialogue telling bits of lore. Two ghosts on this map claim that there is a warlock's tower at the end of the map, and should be approached with caution. This bit of storyline only exists in one of the two story mode options. The other just cuts to gameplay. The storyline given doesn't make much sense, nor does it continue to be supported throughout the gameplay. It's quite incomplete and irrelevant at its current stage. Sketch Tales is a mashup of dimensions. For example, most of what you see in this game is two-dimensional. However, the landscape is not. All of the characters, weapons, items, and foliage are 2D. The landscape is all in 3D. Combining these dimensional boundaries sounds nearly impossible, but the developers of this game do it, and do it well. As far as the theme of the art goes, the artists over at 8D Studio went for a fantastical world, filled with imaginary creatures ranging all the way from murderous, shiv-wielding vegetables to hulking alligator men. There is no end to the imagination behind the theme of this game. The graphics seem to be a saving grace with this game. Unique is an understatement. The art style of this game is best described with its title, Sketch. The majority of the Sketch Tales aesthetic looks like a jumble of amateur drawings, scribbled on notebook paper. This simplistic theme is very appealing. The characters, weapons, items, and setting all seem to share the same theme, and they blend together well. As far as the animations go, the characters move crudely, however it matches with the theme of their appearance. It's as if they all move with the animation of around 8 different frames. The soundtrack of Sketch Tales is wonderful. There is a limited set of 6 songs that the game spins through at various times and events. Every one of these 6 songs fits the gameplay well, and does the job of being entertaining background audio, but also not looping to the point of irritably overstaying its welcome. The feeling behind this soundtrack is that of exploration. The instrumental music translates emotions of hope, fear, excitement, and pride. To summarize, it is a really brilliant soundtrack, and the developers shouldn't change much about it, except adding more songs. Now, Sketch Tales is in an early access stage. That being said, there are going to be a few bugs. Fortunately, this game only has a few worth mentioning. Firstly, any slanted wall can be climbed by simply spamming the jump button. This isn't a game-breaking issue, but it definitely deters players from choosing to walk around through monsters to get somewhere legitimately, when there's an option to just climb up any surrounding cliffside. Straight architectural walls cannot be climbed this way. Secondly, if the player can create any piece of architecture out of thin air after they've acquired the right spell, their chance of survival dramatically increases. Building does require a currency of energy, however, it's simply not difficult enough to build, and this leads to a possible imbalance of difficulty. Lastly, the game has some mistakes in grammar and spelling, which should be an easy fix for the developers. There are also occasional problems with recording sounds for characters and weapons, as it sometimes just doesn't work. This game has so much potential. Sketchtales is an explosion of creativity, and truly represents new ideas being built upon old ones. There is a lot of value currently in this game, with more to come. I'd rate Sketchtales a 6.75 out of 10. Sketchtales was developed by 8D Studio and released on September 28, 2015. It's currently being sold on the Steam Marketplace for $10. Thanks for watching, KeenGamers. Remember to like and subscribe, and check out our channel for more reviews, let's plays, and weekly giveaways. Also, head to our website at www.keengamer.com for all of the latest gaming news. Stay keen, KeenGamers!